sports fans, you're on the wrong fucking channel. But if you're an art fan, you're at the right channel. Welcome to Modern Art Blitz. My name is Matt Gleason, and I'm your host for an hour of blitzing the best in contemporary art. Today we have two fabulous artists. Right now, I have a co-host next to me.
Hi!
This is the lovely Lisa Derrick.
And I'm amped up on iced coffee.
She's basically the speed freak for today's episode. And in the Skechers seat, the lovely intern Eliza. Wave, because you don't got a microphone. Can you
wave with your middle finger, it's fine.
You can wave. She's all mad at the boss because I didn't give her a microphone today. Like she has something to say. What do you have to say? What does the youth of today have?
Lean in here and tell me what you have to say.
I'm scared.
The youth of today is scared. Yes, that's kind of a theme, folks. Later in the show, we have the great painter Justin Bauer joining us. But our first guest today is an esteemed artist of many mediums. He's a publisher of Ono Dream. He's a photographer of many great moments in the history of Los Angeles that will never be replicated, but will always be enjoyed because he was there. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Louis Jacinto.
Hi, Matt, Lisa, I've been good.
Welcome to Modern Art Blitz.
It's great to be here. But you know what, you didn't tell me that the camera was going to capture my real age.
Your real age? You thought it would make you look
something different,
older and distinguished, instead of the youthful cherub that you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Louis, let's get right into it. You have documented some pretty amazing things in your time on Earth among the things that you've done. Yes.
Yes.
When did you get your first camera?
1976. I had a roommate in college who didn't have money to pay the rent, but she had a 35 millimeter camera, and that covered it.
Wow.
That covered it, and I was off and running.
So, and you're doing better on roommates today.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
I have a lot of cameras.
Shout out to Ken. Okay, so hey, this is an old. You started taking photographs in the mid-'70s, though, and you were
I did.
You were involved in some parts of the underground subculture, would you call it? That a lot of people. It was very tiny. Let's face it. It's much celebrated today, but there weren't a lot of people there, right?
No, not at all.
Everybody was at the Journey concert, except you and like 10 others, right?
Yeah, we were bored with that stuff.
You were bored. No BGs for you. No. Okay. No. So what are we looking at here?
Actually, this is a photograph from 1981, the Sunset Junction Street Fair.
Wow, back when it was like a legitimate
thing,
not like a nonprofit scam.
And here was a performer. It was late at night. She was probably wiped out, but the baby was hungry.
Gotta love it.
Damn, that's
a slice of humanity.
And there she was on the corner. See the tossed plastic beer cups.
There's a Ouija-esque vibe to that, like a modern Ouija.
Did you ever study the work of Ouija?
I didn't study it, but I saw it.
Right,
yeah.
but that sort of Arbus Ouija aspect.
What gave you the impulse? Like you just were taking photos, or I was family snapshots too, or this is like a serious endeavor here, right?
Oh yeah, no, I was hired to be. I was the official photographer for the street fair in 1981 and 1982.
Oh, okay.
So it was my job to capture what was going on at the fair.
Great.
And really quick, the fair started because there was a lot of gang kids in Echo Park, Silver Lake, Los Feliz, who were gay bashing the gay and lesbian community.
Yeah.
So a lot of folks went to the March on Washington, like the one that's coming up, for the Women's March. But this one was for gay rights in 1979.
Right.
So those folks came back energized and said, we got to do something locally. And they said, well, we're getting beat up here. So they said, let's have a celebration for everyone in the community. So they were able to negotiate a truce among the 5 gangs, and the gang served as security for the fair.
Wow.
That's
beautiful. When the Rolling Stones tried that at Altamont, it didn't work out so well.
It worked with us.
Yeah, it worked with us. And then all of a sudden there's no more real gangs in Echo Park, are there?
Sure, of course there are.
There
but,
are,
but not like it had been.
Not like it had been. It's mellowed out. Yeah. So now where did you grow up?
I'm from Bakersfield.
Really?
Yeah. And so for your international crowd, Bakersfield is located 100 miles north of Los Angeles.
Our international crowd. Wow.
Well, yeah.
The five people in Czechoslovakia who tune in looking for other Drone Box content.
And I have one friend in London.
In London.
And I'm hoping he's
I'm hoping
watching this.
let's hope.
Phil, I hope you're watching
Good
this.
morning. Good morning there. Now, so you grew up in Bakersfield. How did you make your way 100 miles south to our little suburb of Bakersfield called Los Angeles?
It was great to grow up in Bakersfield. I loved it, but I didn't want to live there as an adult.
You knew at an early age?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to live at Bakersfield? Doesn't it have everything a man could want?
No. A kid is perfect.
Yeah.
But as an adult, not for me.
Not for you.
I just needed more creative avenues.
So how did you end up getting down to Los Angeles?
I transferred to start my third year of college to Cal State Los Angeles.
Cal State LA in the house, woo! All right.
And that was back in 1975.
That's the closest thing I've got to an alma mater, you know? That's like me, you, and Billy Barty.
Oh.
The esteemed alumni. We've had a few, in fact, it's funny because I've had people on here who went to Cal State. It's like, you went to Cal State LA? I went to Cal State LA. Wow, okay. So
It's a very cool
got a
show.
few- we got a
we
few
should
alumni.
get someone from the art department from Cal State LA on here.
It's a shitty art department.
Oh my God.
I'm being,
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that.
Man.
Okay, moving along, tell us about this photo.
You know what? This is a 1978 photograph of Angela Davis.
oh, wow.
Wow.
So there was this group she was involved in, and I heard about it, and I always admired her when I was a kid. But by 1978, the fascination that the masses had with her, whether it was for the cause that she was fighting or her look, they were done with her. They had moved on.
It had really, the 60s activism had pretty much dissipated.
Yeah, by 1978. But here she is, and I really like that image because there she is. She's the only one on the stage, and she doesn't care.
Hey, look,
Even
she's
if
right
it's
next to you,
just
Lisa.
her.
I know, I'm
Even
so
if it's
honored.
just her.
Even if it's just her, she didn't care. She wasn't
was
in the
gonna
game
do it.
for like the big crowds, the adulation, the name. Oh yeah, I'm a rock star, activist.
Yeah.
She was an actual activist.
Yeah.
And she still is, God bless her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And actually, I put out a book of all of the photographs I took of her at that event.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Angela, and it's available at onodream.com.
Tell us about Ono Dream. You've been publishing for how long now?
Well, Ono Dream magazine, I started it in 2011.
2011.
Yes.
And
what
how often do you publish?
Periodically.
When you feel like it, when you get around to it?
Kind of like Coagula.
Well, you know, I've taken a few. I was very consistent for many years publishing
So was I.
Coagula. Then I
Yeah.
might have taken a few years off.
And I have things in the can. I just have to get them out.
You just have to get out of the
Yeah.
can and into the. Okay. So Ono Dream started as.
You know, as an artist, I always just think about myself constantly.
You know, it's not just you.
It's, we
I
all
noticed-
think about you.
I
No,
noticed-
wait, about ourselves.
I noticed every artist. That's the top priority. So that's good. That's good.
And I wanted to get a little healthier, and I thought, well, you know what? Why don't I start a magazine, and each issue, instead of a bunch of artists, it'll just be one artist. So it's one artist, one conversation.
Wow.
And I asked the artists to show me 7 to 10 of their art pieces and start talking about each one in depth. And so the magazine is just their words. I'm not in it, it's just them talking in detail.
Wow.
And so it really, you know, it was my way to help other artists, you know, promote their work and things like that. And it was
Right.
good for me to try to get to see other ideas and borrow, appropriate.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's good to feed off that energy. Right?
Contribute to.
In tribute to, yeah.
Yeah. So what are we looking at here?
This is from 1976 on the campus of USC. It is Jane Fonda there on the left
Yes.
and Lee Grant on the right.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And it is an Equal Rights Amendment rally.
Wow, the ERA didn't go as far as we wanted to, did it? Did it?
No, but you know, they gave it a good fight, and I have some great shots of them, and that's one of my favorites.
And now where, if somebody's watching and said, I got to get a copy of this, where do you show your photography? Do you have a place where people can find your photography?
Yeah, at my website, first and foremost, onodream.com. And that's not one dream. A lot of people think it's one dream. It's Ono, like Yoko Ono.
Well, now explain the genesis of the name Ono Dream for our viewers who are not intimately familiar with your
Okay.
history.
Well, when I joined the internet, a friend of mine said, okay, well, now you have to come up with a name, for your email address. And I said, okay, well, Louis, he goes, no, you have to make up a name. I go, what do you
Really?
mean? What do you mean?
What year was this, just out of curiosity?
In the early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah,
You had to make up a name.
That's what I was told. That's
Great.
what he told me.
No, that's back.
good.
That's back before Facebook for sure.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, well then I'll call myself OnoDream at hotmail.com.
onodream@hotmail.com.
Yeah. And so I came up with that name. It's my attempt to raise Yoko Ono consciousness around the world, one email at a time.
And what is Yoko Ono consciousness?
Loving her work and her music and her.
So you're a Yoko Ono fan, much like John Lennon was a Yoko Ono fan.
Yeah, but
Probably helped get her a little more well known, I think.
probably, but she. He always said he ruined her career when they met up.
Now, what's your favorite Yoko Ono artwork?
The Scream piece.
The Scream piece. What's that?
Well, it's a instruction that says scream into the wind, scream into the wall, scream in, whatever.
Wow.
And, she appeared in concert at the Orpheum a couple of years ago, and I was excited, but then I couldn't go because my cousin was getting married in New York, so I had to go to that.
Unbelievable.
But while I was there, I went to the Museum of Modern Art, and they had a little tiny exhibit of Yoko Ono, and there was the microphone with screen piece on the wall, and you could go up and do it.
Wow.
That
So you
is
actually
great.
participated
Of course.
in it. Now, my favorite Yoko Ono piece, have you ever seen the film, it's called Cut, I think it's
Oh, yeah.
Cut.
Cut
It's a
piece.
pretty scary piece.
Yeah.
I mean, she really put herself out there. I have
Yeah.
never seen an artist, I have to say, I don't know any artist who put themselves out like that. She was on a stage blindfolded, wearing a sweater, and you had to come up to the stage and cut off a piece of the clothing. And a couple of the people were really enjoying it a little too much.
yeah.
And I think she kind of exposed that, you know.
Yeah.
You've seen that, right?
Yeah, it's great.
So, so you're a Yoko Ono fan, but you're also. I want to show the photo behind us here.
Yeah, that is Gerardo Velasquez.
Gerardo Velasquez, and you're a Gerardo Velasquez fan.
Well, Gerardo was my first friend that I made when I moved to Los Angeles.
Really?
Yes.
At Cal State LA.
We were both students at Cal State LA, and the reason we hit it off is because he had every Yoko Ono album, and so did I.
Wow.
And I had never met anyone else that had that.
Well, you know what? I started Cal State LA. I started Cal State LA in 1988, and you know who the first person I met was Gerardo Velasquez. He was
Yeah.
still there. 10 years, 12 years later.
Yeah, he's was a wonderful guy. This is at a show from 1978 called, it was Gronk Patsy Party. It was a Halloween show and art show that Gronk and Patsy Valdez, both of them from Osco, threw at Lace when it was still on Broadway downtown.
Okay.
And Gerardo, they hadn't done Nervous Gender yet, but it was a band called the Snappers.
The Snappers.
Right.
And this was their first and only performance.
Oh.
And that night, Gerardo and Michael met Edward Stapleton.
Who ended up doing
And they
Nervous
formed
Gender
Nervous
with, right?
Gender,
A
yeah.
very seminal LA punk band.
Yeah.
Now, curious, as just looking at things historically, the art world now is really big, it's busy, there's a lot going on. What was the attendance at Gronk Patsy Party?
Everybody showed up. The Osco fans showed up, which I always saw them as like a cross between disco and, folks dressing up like the 1940s. It was popular then. And then it would be because Osco would invite the punk bands to play at their openings. Because there weren't that many places where the bands could play. The
yeah.
Mask had ended.
No venues.
And Chinatown hadn't started yet. So they were a real lifesaver. And I think that's a part of the punk history that is forgotten.
Totally overlooked.
That Osco was really a lifeline.
And do you have photos from that period?
Yeah,
That's what we're looking
that
at.
Well, I
was
know,
one of
but
them.
I've
Yeah,
just-
yeah. And I have pictures of the Bags playing at an opening, another Osco. opening.
What is this? What is
That is the Screamers at the Whiskey A Go
this? At the
Go.
Whiskey. Wow. Now, how many people could fit in? I mean, now these bands are legendary, but a tiny number of people saw them.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like you're kind of this torchbearer. When you've got, Now, how many rolls of film would you go? This back during film.
Yeah, it was film. Yeah.
How many rolls of film would you go through at a concert?
You know, I would take 3-4 rolls. Not necessarily use them all up, but I would always. It's not like digital today where you just.
Oh yeah.
You know, you make
you can
every
find the
shot
best of
count.
1,000 shots. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now here is a pretty famous photo you took, and this is the bags, right?
It's the bags. There's Alice right in front, and if you look closer, you probably can't, but her teeth are all bloody. So somehow she either got slugged, or she bit herself, or maybe hit the microphone too hard, but her teeth and lips are all bloody.
Wow. And then behind her is Craig Lee, right?
Craig Lee.
Wow, the late
Rest
Craig,
in peace.
Craig
Yes.
Lee, yeah.
Great guy.
Great guy, amazing.
And you know, a couple of years ago, Alice had wrote her memoir.
Violence Girl.
Violence Girl.
Great book.
And she used that as the cover.
Oh, wow.
And she asked me about it, and she goes, you know, Louis, the publisher wanted me to have a picture of how I look now and a picture of how I looked as a little girl. And I told them, no, I want this picture. They didn't want this picture.
Wow.
She goes, if I want this picture or there's no book.
Ooh,
Wow,
man.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty amazing picture.
I
I
like
mean,
it.
it sums up a lot about of the early punk scene.
Yeah,
You know?
and right now I have a print. This is from 1979 at the Hong Kong Cafe, and I have a vintage print of that image, and it's currently on an exhibition at the Vincent Price Art Museum.
The
Yes.
Vincent Price Art Museum, because they have a show about subcultures going on.
Yeah,
now, yes?
Youth
Los
culture.
Angeles youth from 1943 to 2016.
Wow.
So Pilar, who you had on a couple of
Yes.
weeks
She was
ago,
our guest recently on Modern Art
She
Blitz.
contacted me and said, hey, you know that Alice bag picture you got? Can we have it in the show?
So do you still have the negatives and you go and make a print out of that? Do you have a dark room?
No, I go to Art Brewer.
There's a place to go?
Yeah.
What's going to happen when there aren't any more of those places to go?
Then I'll pull up my darkroom equipment. Which
You
I
have, you have your own dark, so you're ready to go when you need to. You remember what chemical to pour in what tub and all that?
It's all written down.
Yeah, you got to write it down now. That's good. Okay.
That's good.
So now you're a Yoko Ono fan, but what are we looking at here?
You know, this was, remember that guy, I don't think he's as popular anymore, Mr. Brainwash?
Mr. Brainwash.
Yes.
Okay, so this was some giant, one of his, wheat plaster things that he did on the wall on La Brea. And I don't know if the kerchiefs were, digitally added on or not. I don't really recall the Beatles wearing those.
Oh, that's totally added on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I liked it, so I took a picture of it, and then what I did is, there's a poem called Breathe by Yoko Ono from 1966, I think it's on there. And what I did is I blew it up and then cut it out, so it's like her print, there it is.
Yeah.
And I made a photogram of it.
Oh, okay.
So I had the words cut out, put it on the paper, and then in the darkroom exposed it, and when
Okay.
you do
Wow.
that, then it comes out white.
Okay. So Breathe, Yoko Ono,
Yep,
66.
66,
So
yeah.
you're just kind of acknowledging that she had done this thing, and in the middle, they're
Or the Beatles covered up, I guess,
Wait,
trying to breathe.
trying
Yeah.
to breathe the smoggy air of LA.
guess.
Maybe.
That's how I took it, Matt.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Mind
So
reader.
now, do you do photos in editions, or do you just publish? I mean, just
Well,
is
I
it-
did 8 of these because I had to do each one individually. So sometimes they're just, that's
So these
it.
are like these are
There's
like
only
unique
8 of
works
them,
of art.
and
There's
that's
only
it.
8, and the lettering is different on each one because you had to. Or
Well, no, the lettering's the same, but maybe the B is a little crooked, because I had a place on each print.
okay, okay.
Right. And so it was all in the darkroom. It's craft. It's part of the craft. I'm not
Yes.
saying that digital artists aren't doing craft, but this is like real hands-on
Yeah.
craft, I think. I think going in the darkroom and shaking that stuff, that's the craft of it. You gotta have the artistic eye, I believe, as a photographer, but you gotta have the craft as well.
And the craft is still in the darkroom, not on Photoshop.
It can be.
Not for you though.
I finally succumbed and I do some.
Playing around with the stuff.
Yeah. Oh, like here's one.
Okay, what's this?
Well, I went to go see Lynn Folk's retrospective at the Hammer
At the
a couple
Hammer
of years
2 or
ago.
3 years ago,
Yeah. And he's an old guy,
Oh yeah.
and
yeah.
I love to see an artist that has been around a long time that is still creating new stuff that is still kicking our butts, and he's one of those guys.
Oh yeah. Lynn's just turned 82.
Yeah, see,
No
so I want to be
way.
like him. So when I went to his show, and he has those paintings where it looks like the heads are like exploding.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So that imagery inspired this. So what I did is I went and I photographed the mannequins in Beverly Hills, London, Manhattan, and Mexico City. And a part of my work through the years has been a lot of self-portraiture. So I went through and added my head onto the mannequins. So now I can finally, after all these years, have the right body and the right clothes.
So that's you maybe a few years ago, right?
Yeah. See, I still have hair.
A few follicles ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a whole series of
digitally manipulated,
Yeah.
crafted, shall we say?
Well, actually, the photographs are all on film, so I still scan the negatives of the mannequins. And then, of course, my old heads are on film, so it's also scanned.
Okay.
So I'm still hanging on to that film. I just think film has life in it,
Yeah.
rather than the sterile pixels.
There's something about the pixels that are just a little,
too clean.
you know. Not when they're streaming live on the internet like us now, but hey, you know, allow us those pixels.
Yeah.
So is this like how many? Is this like an edition? I mean, how do you do?
You know, I have some stuff that, like that picture of Gerardo, that, you know,
Yeah.
that's an edition. But, and this one is an edition. But, you know, I think that I'd like to keep it open because it keeps the price down.
It keeps the price down. What is this? This is a downtown LA?
Yes.
Let's see.
You know what I did is I did a series of black and white images, film, of signage, but I shot it all from the back.
Okay.
Oh, very
And then
lovely.
I scanned the negative, and then I digitally removed all the posts so that the signs are all floating.
Wow.
And this one is, you know, getting it backwards. It says Jesus saves.
But it's back.
But
That's down on Pico, right? Or right off of Pico?
No, this is Broadway or Spring, one of those places downtown.
Yeah,
It's south of like 9th, 10th Street,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
a little
yeah.
further down,
Yeah,
closer
yeah,
to Pico, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I used to park. I worked in this one building, and I would park. The cheapest parking lot was
Yeah.
on Pico, and I'd walk the 6 blocks.
yeah.
So I would always pass that sign.
I have that, and then there's this giant Pepsi-Cola sign. If you're at the United Nations in New York and you look across the river, there's this huge Pepsi-Cola sign. So I jumped on the subway so I could get behind it, and I photographed it like behind, like this is, and then removed everything. So it's just floating, but in front is the Manhattan skyline.
Wow.
Beautiful.
So it's different things like that. And its counterpart is I don't think I have any today to show the audience, but you can see them on my website, onodream.com.
onodream.com.
But its sister is the, in color, I photographed building signage, but where you can read them, and did the same thing, removed the posts so that the signs are just
And
floating.
those are in color.
And those are in color.
So they could be diptychs, for example.
Yeah.
All right, so let's. I think do we have one more image? This is the last image we're going to show, but what is it?
Wow.
This is the latest piece that I just completed a couple of months ago.
Okay.
And there are 2 vintage from 1978 photographs that I printed back then.
Okay.
They're 16 by 20 each. And what I did is I drew, the one on the right, I drew the atomic sign. And then the one on the left, I just printed out those oil company images and pasted them directly onto the photograph.
Wow. And what does it say in the middle there?
In the center, it says, "If we dig precious things from the earth, we are inviting disaster."
Wow.
Thank you.
Is this in response to what's going on in North Dakota, or just an overall sentiment?
It's that. It also reminded me when that oil spill that under the Gulf. Remember
right,
that?
yes.
It reminded me of all of that, everything. And so this piece is going to be on an exhibit at the 6th Chicana biannual.
Where's that?
In San Jose.
San Jose at
MACLA.
MACLA.
It's this arts organization there.
What does that stand for? Because it's LA. If it ends in
know.
LA, I think it's Los Angeles, but it's obviously San
Latin
Jose.
America.
Yeah, no, it's
Museum of Art and Culture Latin America?
No. It's like all in Spanish.
Oh.
Mexicano or Artístico Chicano, something like that.
Oh, okay.
And I apologize, Makla, if you're watching. I apologize.
I'm sorry for setting you up on that one. Jeez.
When is that?
It opens December 2nd, and
wow.
will run through mid-March. I believe.
Wow.
Of 2017.
Yeah.
Worth the trip to San Jose.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you know the way to San Jose?
Yeah. And you know, the space is really beautiful.
Really?
Really a beautiful,
now you've inspired
beautiful
me.
space.
Because there's also the Rosicrucian Museum in San Jose.
There's very little to inspire about San Jose besides the Rosicrucians, but I'm glad that there's.
But for this,
yeah, this is definitely exciting.
Louis, that's about all the time we have. Again, onodream.com. A standard bearer of subculture Los Angeles, Louis Jacinto. Thanks for being a guest. But
Thank
now
you.
we get to see the sketch from the sketcher's seat. As we pass it on to you.
You can hold it up.
Oh my
Hold it
gosh.
up to
Hold
the
it to
camera.
the camera.
It's a beautiful sketch, but I look like Gorbachev.
Oh, hey, not bad.
I'm a
then.
communist.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Hey, we'll be back. We will be right back.